Rackspace Startup Program is a program that we developed to allow us to help early stage startups get off the ground and build their business. And we do that in a lot of ways. We do that through, some hosting assistance when they need it, with teaching them how to scale databases or how to do load balancing.
So I guess one thing about Rackspace is we feel they share a lot of the philosophy around, helping startups succeed. Really entrepreneur-friendly approach to building companies. Obviously, many years of experience in hosting and supporting internet companies helps a lot in that regard. But pretty community-friendly oriented company, in my opinion.
For us, the biggest issue is we're just getting into the cloud, and so we were looking for a service that was very accessible, very easy to get into at the startup level. Something that would give us room to grow when we needed the ability to grow quickly. So Rackspace was definitely a lot more approachable, I thought, than for example, S2, for example.
Honestly, I think it's probably partially just in our DNA. We're based on providing customer support. Our entire company is built around that. We like being helpful. This is just another way that we're helpful, and these early stage startups, they're at a point where they can really use the experience of someone who's recently been a startup like we have. And we haven't forgotten what it's like to be a startup because we're only 13 years old. So getting the benefits of the experience of the people who've gone through it, I think makes a big difference. And that's why these incubator programs are so important to startups.
I mean, as a partner, I think that they understand the business that they're managing, that they're able to provide scale and capacity on demand, and that they're looking out for not just large enterprise companies, but also small startups that can grow into larger businesses.
It's hard to start a business. You've got a lot of stuff to worry about. And if you don't have to worry about your hosting, and if you can get help with things like building a database to scale, but for startups, the barrier to entry is so low right now. And it needs to be, because startups today have a different problem than startups had 5 years ago. 5 years ago, you had to go out and borrow a bunch of money and buy a bunch of servers. Now you can get those servers easily, but the scale you have to operate now with the social web and the real-time network is much larger than it was 5 years ago. So these startups have much more critical and massive IT demands generally than they did 5 years ago.